video walkthrough on Freedom Elite. Start in the back, you do have a backup camera. You will have to have your running lights on. That turns the camera on. And then the screen, the suction cup to your dash. You have a ladder, so you can go up on the roof, and I encourage you to do so a couple times a year just to look at any of the sealant in the roof material itself. What you're looking for is any gaps, cracks, or voids in the sealant, any tears in the material. You do have a receiver in the back, so you can tow some stuff. You do have a 8,000 pound towing limit with a 500 pound tongue weight. That's your 7-way for hooking up lights. So if you had a boat, or heck, you can even find a bike rack that you can get back. It's perfect for that. Sewer cap, bumper caps come off. It's gonna be the best spot to store your sewer hose. It keeps it out from in a compartment or anywhere where you get the gross water everywhere. Plenty of storage in here. Got a light in here too. City water connection. So if you are going somewhere that provides water, this is where you're going to hook your hose up to. You do run off of city water pressure, so you won't need to use your pump or anything like that. You have a black tank flush, so you can hook a hose up to here as you're dumping your black tank. Now your black tank is your toilet water. There's a nozzle in there that'll spray it out as you're dumping it to keep it smelling fresh. Fresh water fill. This is where you're going to fill your onboard fresh tank. You just rest your hose in there, turn it on, it'll fill up. You can monitor its progress from the inside monitoring panel, and if you see water squirt out from everywhere here, you know you're full. This is where you dump your onboard tanks. This one's going to be your gray, that one's your black. Always make sure these are closed before you take your cap off, or you're going to get a scenario you don't like. To get your hose hooked up, I recommend just doing your black first, letting that get all the way empty, then doing your gray. What that's going to do is flush out your hose, so when you pick it up to move it to put it in your bumper, it doesn't have black tank water all in it. This is where you fill your fuel for your unit. This does have a generator, and your generator does use the same fuel tank as your chassis does. Got a show cord. It's twist to lock, and then you can twist this part in too. It's 30 amp. Most places provide 30 amp service. And then plug it in. This one's about 25 feet long. Plug it in there. You can tell it's working because the little light's on right there. Here's your cable inlet. See if we can't get it open. So if where you're going provides cable, you can hook up some cable there and watch TV through cable rather than your antenna. Outdoor shower. They call it a shower, but you're not going to be really taking like an actual shower out here. But so you can't get it open. There you go. You have hot and cold out here, and that's your shower head. Right below that, it's going to be access to your propane to turn it on and off. The way you'll know which one it is for your propane, it'll be the only one that doesn't have locks on it. And your propane right there, lefty, all the way this way is on, all the way this way is off. And then you have a little gauge in there too. It'll say 2/3 or 3/4. I think it's 3/4. 3/4 is full. There's got to be like 20% room for vapors in there, so it doesn't actually fill completely all the way with propane. The rest is vapor from the propane. Slide seals, every once in a while you want to inspect them, make sure they're not dry or cracked or anything like that. If they start to get dry or cracked, you can take it in and we can perform a service called a slide out maintenance, or you can buy the necessary materials to do it yourself. We sell those materials here. Exhaust for your furnace, pretty simple. It gets hot. Clean in here often. If you see like some spider webs, clean it out. If you see a bee's nest, try to pick it out of there. Don't push it in. Don't use air to push. It'll just push it in further, and you have a bigger problem in your hands. Water heater. So you open up that nice chain so it doesn't fall onto your furnace and get burnt when you're running your furnace. This is all set up for you to use. The only thing you'll have to do is put this plug in that hole right there. 15/16 is the socket size. They also do sell tools here to use it. It's more like a traditional wrench. Get it threaded in there as much as you can by hand. Tighten it the rest of the way. with whatever tool you choose to use. Do not over tighten it. It's a plastic threaded, and it's a plastic plug. You don't want to ruin the threads. Other than that, as soon as you get that plug in, you hook up water to this unit. This is going to automatically start filling up, and then you'll be good to turn it on and off. All the controls for it are on the inside, and we'll get to that when we go to the inside. Now, I recommend draining it after every trip. So every week you're out or weekend, whatever, you want to drain the water out of there because you don't want it to sit in there for a long time. It'll start to get stagnant. So before you pull your plug out, you gotta crack your pressure relief. It'll hold open like that. Water will squirt out of here. Sometimes this little red cap in there will come out with it. You just put it back in when you're done. Everything out here is okay to get wet. Once the water stops squirting out, close it. And you want to do this with all your water off, because if you left your hose on and this would just keep squirting out. So make sure you turn all the water supply off. Relieve the pressure, snap that back closed, then you can take the plug out. If you neglect to do this first, and you've been running it, even if you weren't running it, there's a lot of pressure in the tank. So if you take this off without relieving any of that pressure, you're gonna get a bath. And if you've been running it, you're gonna get a hot bath, and this is gonna come shooting out somewhere, and you might lose it. So always relieve your pressure first. Last little bit of info about your water heater: keep it clean in here and in there. This one you could use compressed air. Just be careful. You spray it in there. Whatever you spray in there is coming out of there. Keep it clean. Let's see if I can do this. It's a little difficult to do one-handed. We'll make sure this gets closed up for you before we leave. It's hard to do one-handed. Moving along. We'll go on to the other side, and then we'll go into the cabin when we're done. Right over here, we have an outdoor TV. There we go. Some struts on it. And they do have a soundbar radio. Just tap to turn it on. You can scroll through your channels there, volume up and down. You hit pair, you can pair your phone to it for its Bluetooth. And you have AV in, USB, pause, play if you're playing from your Bluetooth on your phone. Very simple, very easy to use. And this will scan through channels on radio, volume up or down. You hit pair, you can pair it. Very easy. Just my little advice to these struts on them, sometimes there's a lot of weight on them. If you're standing above it, they might want to fling up and hit you. But these ones aren't too bad. And then and always make sure you latch them before you travel. Below that, some storage. Nice long storage, good for chairs. Good for chairs or like pie irons or the tripods for cooking over your fire. It's good for that. More storage over here and over there. Got your fridge, access to the back of your fridge for cleaning and maintenance. Give these a quarter turn. You can pop this off if you need to and clean back there. Definitely recommend doing that every once in a while. Keeping it clean is the best thing for it. And you do have dual GFCI protected outlets. If any of your outlets were to trip that are GFCI, they always set in the same spot, and we'll show you that when we get on the inside. So we're on the inside now. You do have a step light right here. Turns on and off that light right there. Got this switch right here, does your awning. Your awning does not automatically stop when it's all the way out. You'll have to visually look. And then if you have your keys in the ignition and turned to on, the awning won't work. You have to take the keys out of the ignition. Once you see the bare tube, sometimes if it's rolled up for so long, let's see if we can't get that flap to come out. There it is. There we go. So looking like that is all the way open. We see the flap and the bare tube. These are adjustable. Pull down to adjust pitch. So if it's raining, you can have rain drizzle off onto one end rather than all the way along the edge. If it starts storming, however, getting real windy, roll your awning up. And if you roll it in wet, as soon as it gets sunny and nice out, roll your awning back out to let it dry off. And if you forget that you had adjusted these, they kind of self-correct as you're going in. As you can see here, we'll demonstrate. We'll pull this down like that. Say you forgot, you can run your awning in still. You can watch. See how it's kind of fixing itself? Boom, there you go. Switch next to that right here. So this is the switch for the awning. This turns on and off your awning lights right there. Got a battery disconnect right here. This needs to be on for your dashboard radio to work. If you're going to store this unit like in a barn somewhere unable and you're not plugging it in, disconnect your battery. That keeps anything from using the voltage on the battery. If you do have it plugged in, because when you're plugged in it does charge it, make sure the battery is connected or else the charge isn't going to reach the battery. This right here is your unit's partially equipped for solar. It does not actually have the solar on it, but this panel will tell you what voltage is going through the lines currently, 13 and a half. That's what your converter is putting out to charge your batteries. So we'll come back in here. We'll snake our way to the cab and demonstrate that real quick. First thing, this piece right here is movable to give you more headroom when you're driving. Cab, super simple. It's like a Ford box van. Same chassis as that. Get your keys. Got cruise control here, on or off. Reset, accelerate, coast. Your lights. So these need to be on for your camera to turn on. So all the way over turns your camera on. Here's the camera right here. Suction cup it to your dash if you want to. And then you plug it into a 12-volt outlet right here. And then as soon as you turn your lights on, it turns the camera on. Then you can go and turn your screen on. Here, let's do that. Yep. Screen was on. Let's try this one right here. Just so you guys can see. Oh, this doesn't actually need to be running, but there you go, backup camera. And then if you see it, if you can watch, the moment I turn these lights off, it turns the camera off. So your running lights need to be on for your camera to be working. Then you have some good information on your dash. You can have trips set and all that. And just do that through the button here. Cycle through it, push and hold to clear a saved trip. And then, like I said, those are the lights. This is the dimming for the cab lights. It also dim. If you can see, it dims the lights in the dashboard. Radio, you push this button right here, turn it on. It's also your volume knob. Get your radio here. And like I said, that battery disconnect needs to be on for your radio to work. So scan through the channels here. You got presets, so you push and hold to save a preset. So you push and hold saves the preset. You go home. You got Bluetooth phone, Bluetooth music, AVN settings, radio, dual mirror. That's so you can have your phone hooked up to it too. You won't be doing that. Sirius XM. I don't know if this one has the Sirius XM antenna. Yeah, this one doesn't have the antenna in it, but the radio is set up to have Sirius XM. You can do USB. So USB right here. Phone goes. You can plug your phone in there. You have auxiliary. You could do it through there. Bluetooth music, you can Bluetooth your phone to it. Then you have different zones. So if you go back to radio.
In Jute mode, you can win a K100 t-shirts helping out local businesses, musicians.
Zone 1 is going to turn the cab area off, so it's radio for the cab when you're driving. Turn it back on, you can turn zone 2, and then zone 2 is going to be like the radio back in the back. Very simple to use. Other than that, you have this is an HDMI pass-through. I believe it hooks to the TV up there, and we'll take a look at that for sure. So you get a HDMI that's male on both ends, and you can plug in your console or extra DVD player, Blu-ray, whatever you want to. Then a USB charger there. Very simple, very easy. We've got climate controls, very basic right there. Alright, we got the cab cover. We'll snake our way back up to the TV right here. Got the TV right here. You can swivel it out if you want to. So you can watch TV in the back. And then there's knobs here if you wanted to tighten them down to keep them from swiveling. Tighten these knobs right here. Just like that. And like I said, this cushion is movable to give you more headroom back there. Up here, you got all your cables, inlets for your TV. If you look up in there, the cable goes in there. There's a little button on the other side of this. You want it to be on. You see the green light right there? You want that to be on if you're going to be using from your antenna. If you're doing through cable, you want it to be off. And then you have a Blu-ray player right here for the TV, right in there. Very simple, very easy to use. Pop a Blu-ray in there, you turn it on, and all that. You should have remotes for it all. And let's find your remotes real quick. So should have. Sorry, a little clustered right here. That right here is a curtain that you can drape across all the way to the front. You see these little Velcro pads there. That'll give you privacy when you're at the campground so no one can see in. I'm looking for your bag of remotes in your books. There's your remotes. So that's a TV. That's for that radio outside. Yeah, so there's your remotes. So they're in this drawer right here. This turns into a couch. A bed easily. You just lift up here. Oh, first thing you gotta do actually is pull these out. You pull these out, both sides. Then you just lift up right here. Lift up, it'll pull out. It's called a jackknife couch. It'll lay flat. You could probably sleep, I would say, one person on it. Just like that. This will turn into a bed too. All you do is pivot this over to unlatch it, and then this whole thing will go down. You just push the table down. As you can see, it's going down. I won't go down because you got stuff underneath there. But once it's down, your table will rest on these edges right here, and then you just take the back cushions and lay them across there, and that creates a platform. Light switch right here does your lights. Your main row of lights. Every other light you'll turn on and off at the fixture like that. Very easy. Microwave. This will only work when you're plugged in or if you're running off of your generator, so keep that in mind. Other than that, it's just like your microwave at home. You do have a pop-up outlet. It's GCI protected. So it also has 2 USB ports. These are pretty neat. Cooktop, very simple to use. This will fold back up, act like a backsplash. Then you turn it to the flame like that. Then twist this, lights it. You do that for all of them. Your oven's a little bit differently. You push to the flame right here. Push and hold like that. As you're pushing and holding that, I always get down and crouch because you can look back in there. You see where I'm. Let's see if I can't get it to focus. You see where I'm turning the sparker, how that's igniting like that. So that's your pilot. So you turn this to the flame, which is your pilot. Push and hold, and then you keep turning this until you see in there a little blue flame. Once that blue flame is lit, you can turn it to whatever temperature you need it to. And if you plan on cooking again in the future, in a couple hours, You don't want to relight that pilot again. When you're done, you can turn it to the flame like that. Shuts the burner off, leaves the pilot on. However, before you go to bed, make sure you turn that off. And then you have a light for you. That turns the lights on in the oven as well as the ones on these knobs. Smoke alarm right there, just like you want at home. If it starts giving you chirps, low voltage chirps, throw a new 9-volt battery in there. Vent up here, crank it to the right to open it, left to close it. And then you have a fan in there too. I believe that is controlled from a light switch. Moving along here, got your monitoring panel so you can read how full your propane is, your battery, fresh, black, and gray. So you can read that there. Start and stop your generator from here so you can hold down stop. Till that little red light turns on. All those numbers appear. Hit up to start. Perfectly. And then when you're done, hit down to stop. You have your controls for your slide out. So slide out 1 is this slide. Slide out 2 is this slide. Just make sure you have any doors that are in the way. Make sure this door gets closed. Make sure that sliding door gets closed. And make sure you have your driver's seat up forward so your slide out doesn't hit it. Then you have your controls for water pump. If you're pulling from your outboard tank, that's what you turn it on and off with. Then your water heater on propane and electric. You can run them both at once. If you are going to run electric, make sure there is water in it though. Light right here turns this hall light on and off. And then you have your thermostat right here. So this is adjust your temperature. Then you have cool. Fan is just going to run the fan. No actual AC, but it'll circulate air. Off and then heat. And you have auto, high, low, and then on, high or low. I recommend auto. Auto is going to regulate whatever temperature you have it set at. So if you have the AC set to 65, once it hits 65, the AC will shut off. And then once it starts getting a little bit colder in here, or warmer in here again, the AC will kick back on to help bring it back down to the 65 degrees. If you just have it on high or low, if it's really humid out and you're running your AC won't automatically shut off when it reaches its set temperature. It'll keep going. And if it's real hot and humid, it'll freeze up and then shut off. So it won't kick back on again until it gets thawed. So that just prevents it from freezing up from the moisture in the air. Very simple, very easy to use. Here, again, another area with some lights. You got ladders, a ladder for getting up to this bunk, a ladder for getting up over there. I do believe this is actually the wrong way around. There should be hooks for the ladder on the other side of this, so if you wanted to, you can flip this cushion around. That'll be the hooks for the ladders. And then we'll cover this bedroom area, and then we'll go back to the fridge. Got a TV in there. All the remotes work pretty much for all the TVs, so you should be good. You got remotes right here too. So the 2 remotes there will work for the inside kitchen and the outside kitchen, and then these remotes are for that TV in there and that TV down there. This turns into a bed. Works the exact same way. Oh, works a little bit differently. You do have a leg that you put in there. There should be a leg somewhere around here. Let's see, I want to find the leg. Nope, not underneath here. Well, there'll be a leg for that. It twist locks in there. You can make it as a table. Oh, right here. We were just looking at it. So this twists to the little base down underneath there. Then the table sits on that. And then obviously you'll want headroom. So what you do is you pick this bed up. This whole bed lifts up. That's easier if the ladder's on the way. And then there's latches right there that you latch to in there. That gives you headroom for using this as a secondary dinette, or you can have it as another bed. Fridge, super simple to use. Your fridge runs off of electric or gas. So if you have it on, you have auto or gas. Auto I would just recommend leaving on auto. If you accidentally trip over the short cord or wherever you're at, would lose power, This will automatically switch to running off of propane. You could also start up your generator and run it off electric, but on your generator. Excuse me. And then you have temperature changing settings right here. Super simple. These do, however, take anywhere from 8 to 10 hours to get to operating temperature. So you have the provisions to plug it in the night before, let it get cold. That way when you're going down the road, you can turn it on gas, leave it cold, leave it being cold, so that way it's already ready when you get to where you're going. Bathroom, like I said, make sure that door is closed before you run the slide in. Bathroom, super simple. Light switch, fan switch. Big old medicine cabinet. Plenty of storage in there. GFCI outlet here, so any GFCI outlet that were to trip, this is where you come in and reset it. Toilet, very simple. There's a pedal on the side. As long as you're pushing that pedal, it's going to keep flushing. The nice thing about this toilet is it's porcelain, so it'll feel more like your toilet at home. Shower. Not much I have to explain. You got hot and cold. Nice sunlight lets some natural light in, and if you're taller, you can stand up in there. Your shower, all you do is close it. You just aggressively, if you just kind of gentle with it, sometimes it doesn't latch, so then you're able to shower. And when you're ready, open her up. Not a whole heck of a lot in the bathroom. Let's turn these lights off. Right underneath your bed, that's good. You have your breaker box, all your breakers for your 120 volt appliances, all your fuses for your 12 volts. You have 15s, 240s, and a 30. I recommend carrying some spare fuses with you just in case something were to stop and you won't be able to have the fuse to replace it. Get your bedroom. Let's see if we can't get some lights on in here. I think switches are all right here. That switch right there turns on your lights. Then you got another fan, vent. There's no fan in there, just a vent. And then dual lights above the bed. And then you have an outlet, dual USB ports, a 12 volt outlet there. Plenty of storage on either side of the bed. Plenty of storage in front of the bed. Plenty of storage back here. If you wanted to have another TV in here, you could. There's a spot to hook the cable up. There's your outlet for it. Plenty of storage in the bedroom. Another outlet over there. Emergency exit in the back. You just pull these handles, push the window, it'll pivot out, and then you can escape out the back if you need to. And I do believe... Yep, you have some... So it's not really storage, because it says this is not a storage compartment. But you can lift that up. So... There's that fresh tank, the onboard fresh tank I was talking to you about. So you see that big red handle? How it's perpendicular with that white line? That's all set up so you can fill it. But you want to drain it if you took it on a trip and you only used about half of it, and you're not planning on going again for a few months, you don't want water sitting in that tank for a month because it'll start to get stagnant. So to drain it, all you do is turn that red valve until it's parallel with that line, and that drains it out. Right there's your pump. This is set up for winterization. So when you want to winterize it, all you gotta do is you get you put your water heater in bypass, and I'll show you the back of the water heater. You'll hook a line through here. You turn this that way, and now instead of your pump pumping from your tank, it'll pump from here. Then you could stick your antifreeze in there like that. Very simple. And then the back of your water heater, if I remember where your water heater is, yeah. It's hidden back in there. Should be. No, that's your furnace. Water heater. Back behind this panel right there. You undo those screws. You can get to the back of your water heater. I believe so. Either that or it's tucked behind the oven. And last thing, that's your adjustable for your antenna. You push up, you can turn it. You're trying to tune in a signal for your antenna. Alrighty then. Well, that pretty much concludes your video walkthrough on your Thor Freedom Elite. I hope you folks enjoy.